What if I told you that you could build 10 new habits without ever finding extra time for them? No new alarm clocks, no extra hours squeezed out of your day. Just one tiny trick that rewires how your brain handles daily life. Sounds impossible, right? Well, stick with me because by the end of this video, you're going to look at your morning coffee, your commute, even brushing your teeth in a completely different way. Today we're talking about habit stacking. It's a simple idea that some of the most productive people on the planet swear by, and yet almost nobody talks about it the right way. In this video, you'll learn exactly what habit stacking is, why your brain loves it so much, and how you can use it starting today to multitask less, stress less, and actually get more done. We'll walk through the science, some surprising real-world examples, a few mind-blowing facts about how habits are formed, and a simple method you can use tonight. Let's get into it. Let's start with the basics. Habit stacking is the idea of attaching a new habit to an old one that you already do automatically. Instead of trying to remember a brand new routine, you link it to something your brain already does without thinking. For example, instead of saying, "I will meditate every day," you say, "After I pour my morning coffee, I will meditate for 1 minute." The coffee becomes the trigger, the meditation becomes the response. Simple, right? But here's why it actually works. Your brain is wired to save energy. Every single day, you make thousands of tiny decisions, and most of them exhaust your mental battery. Scientists call this decision fatigue. The more choices you make, the weaker your willpower gets. That's why, by the end of a long day, it feels so much harder to resist junk food or skip your workout. Habit stacking solves this problem by removing the decision entirely. You're not deciding whether to meditate, you're just following a chain reaction that already started the moment you picked up your coffee cup. Now let's talk about why this beats multitasking. Multitasking feels productive, but research shows your brain doesn't actually do two things at once. It rapidly switches back and forth, and each switch costs you time and focus. Some studies suggest this switching cost can eat up as much as 40% of your productive time. Habit stacking flips this completely. Instead of juggling tasks, you're building a smooth sequence, one action naturally leading to the next, like dominoes falling in a row. You're not multitasking, you're single-tasking on autopilot. And that's a huge difference. Let's break this down into real sections so you can see exactly how to use it. Section 1. The anchor habit. This is the habit you already do every day without fail. Brushing your teeth, making coffee, sitting down at your desk, locking your front door. These anchors are gold because your brain already runs them automatically, no motivation required. The trick is picking an anchor that happens at the right time and place for your new habit to fit naturally. Section 2. The tiny addition. Here's where most people mess up habit stacking. They try to stack something huge onto their anchor, like an hour-long workout right after waking up. That's too big a leap. Start absurdly small. One push-up after you tie your shoes. One sentence in a journal after you close your laptop. 30 seconds of stretching after you take off your work shoes. The goal at first isn't results, it's consistency. Once the tiny habit feels automatic, you can grow it. Section 3. The formula. The simple formula habit experts use is this. After I do current habit, I will do new habit. That's it. No extra motivation speech needed. For example, after I sit down on the bus, I will read one page of a book. After I close my laptop at the end of work, I will write down tomorrow's top task. This formula works because it's specific. Vague goals like "I'll read more" rarely survive a busy week, but a specific trigger and action almost always does. Section 4. Stacking multiple habits together. Once one habit stack feels automatic, you can chain several together, creating what some people call a habit stack sequence. For example, after I wake up, I drink a glass of water. After I drink water, I stretch for 1 minute. After I stretch, I write one thing I'm grateful for. Each habit becomes the trigger for the next. Before you know it, you've built an entire morning routine without ever forcing yourself to remember a checklist. Section 5. Why location matters. Your environment is a silent partner in habit building. If your anchor habit and new habit happen in the same physical spot, the connection forms faster. That's why leaving your vitamins next to your coffee maker works better than storing them in a drawer across the kitchen. Your brain links location and behavior more strongly than most people realize. Section 6. The 2-minute buffer. If a new habit feels overwhelming, shrink it until it takes less than 2 minutes. Not because 2 minutes changes your life on its own, but because showing up consistently is what actually builds the neural pathway. Once that pathway exists, expanding the habit becomes almost effortless because you're no longer fighting resistance, you're just continuing something your brain already accepts as normal. Section 7. Tracking without obsessing. You don't need a complicated app to make this work. A simple checkmark on a calendar, or even just noticing, "Yep, I did that again today," reinforces the pattern. The goal isn't perfection. Missing one day won't destroy your progress. What actually breaks habits is missing 2 days in a row, because that's when your brain starts treating the old default as normal again. Section 8. Fixing a broken stack. Sometimes a habit stack falls apart, and that's completely normal. Maybe your anchor habit changed, like switching jobs and losing your old commute. Or maybe the new habit was just too big from the start. When this happens, don't scrap the whole idea. Go back to the formula, shrink the new habit even smaller than before, and pick a fresh anchor that still happens every single day, no matter what. Habit stacking isn't about being perfect the first time. It's about adjusting the chain until it finally clicks into place. Now let's hit some fun facts that might blow your mind. Fact 1. Researchers estimate that around 40% of what people do every single day isn't a conscious decision at all. It's habit running on autopilot. Fact 2. It doesn't take a fixed 21 days to build a habit, like the popular myth claims. Real studies show it can take anywhere from about 2 weeks to over 200 days, depending on the habit and the person. Fact 3. Your brain actually creates a physical shortcut in your neural pathways every time you repeat a behavior in the same context, which is why breaking a bad habit chain feels so much harder than starting fresh in a new environment. So how does this apply to your actual life? Think about your day right now. You already have dozens of anchor habits hiding in plain sight. Waking up, making your bed, waiting for your coffee to brew, sitting in traffic, opening your laptop. Each one of these is a free trigger you can attach a tiny new habit to without adding a single extra minute to your schedule. Pick just one anchor today, attach one tiny action to it. Do it for a week. Watch how naturally it starts to feel automatic. Then, once it does, pick a second anchor and repeat the process. Within a month, you could have 3 or 4 new habits running quietly in your life, none of which ever felt like a struggle to start. The real magic of habit stacking isn't speed, it's sustainability. You're not relying on motivation, which comes and goes like weather. You're building a system that runs quietly in the background of your life, one small link at a time. Multitasking scatters your energy. Habit stacking channels it. If this video helped you see your daily routine differently, hit that like button, subscribe for more videos like this, and drop a comment telling me which habit stack you're going to try first. I genuinely want to know. In the next video, we're diving into why willpower actually runs out by the end of the day, and the surprisingly simple trick that helps you avoid burning through it before noon. You will not want to miss that one. See you in the next video.